Recording in progress.
Call the meeting to order. In the absence of the opening invocation, we will move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everybody tonight. It's nice to see a full council chambers, especially for such a good reason. So thank you for everybody for coming tonight. We're going to move on to the approval of the agenda. I'd like to amend it, moving item number 8 to item number 5, if everyone is okay with that. Yes. So entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion John, second Mary. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We'll do the approve the consent calendar, which are the minutes from our December 9th meeting and the payment of bills.
So moved.
Second.
Motion John, second Mary Jo. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Move on to the presentation of life-saving awards to Staples Fire Department firefighters. Call Cole.
Thank you. We'll start out just by giving a quick background of our incident that we're chatting about this night. So on Wednesday, November 19th, shortly before 9:30 p.m., the fire department was paged to the Staples high rise for a general smoke alarm. This is a very common call that we get frequently. Firefighters soon learned that it was not just a fire alarm and that there was a fire in their building. Firefighters quickly arrived on scene and began to assess the situation, while several teams of firefighters began evacuating the 60-unit apartment complex and assisting the tenants and residents out of the building. A fire attack team began investigating and addressing the smoke on the second floor. The second floor of the high-rise was filled with smoke at this time. While the attack team was conducting searches of the involved living unit, the team of 4 firefighters located a victim in the smoke-filled room. The victim was unresponsive, but breathing at the time. The firefighters assigned to search the living unit let their many hours of training take over. They remained very calm and collected, requested additional assistance from EMS and other firefighters. EMS was staged nearby. The victim was brought outside to the waiting ambulance to receive medical care. The victim was later flown to a Metro hospital to receive advanced treatments, and they've been released and are back home with their family now. This event was a team effort. All of our firefighters that were on the scene played a crucial role, along with our mutual aid partners and our ambulance service that night. Everybody did a fantastic job, and the best outcome that was possible happened that night. I'd like to have our firefighters, Assistant Chief Blake Gerard, Assistant Chief Brandon Bruzewitz, Captain Kyle Corollas, and Firefighter Drew Youngbauer. If you guys want to come up here, please. So due to the actions of these firefighters, it's without a doubt that someone is getting to spend Christmas this year with their family. So we appreciate all that you guys do. Thank you, guys. It's well deserved.
Thanks, you guys, it's awesome.
I think we should, I think we deserve another round of applause. I'm a retired firefighter, and it makes me proud, but also after that fire, I was at the high rise, and I heard many of the tenants and people there could not speak highly enough about how that all went down and how efficient it was. And once again, it made me proud to be the mayor and proud of you guys, so thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to item number 6. Consider resolution 2011 ordering project and preparation of plans. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped, I goofed up there. So the next item is public hearing for proposed 4th Street Northeast Street and Utility Improvement Project. So we'll open the public hearing.
All right, we got it up here, Brian. I'd like to introduce Ryan Brown with Bolton Mink, who's the project engineer for the 4th Street project. Got to walk through a presentation.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Again, Brian Drown with Bolton and Mink. Just will run through a few slides with what the special assessment process is. We'll go over the project scope, what the proposed improvements are, the cost information, city assessment policy, and how that's being applied to this project. And then with this being a public hearing, would open for public input. In November, feasibility study for 4th Street was accepted, and then ordered the improvement, which is the first public hearing in the special assessment process. What we're having tonight, we'll go over generalities, estimated costs, and then again, an opportunity for public input. Following that, kind of compressed the schedule a little bit with this project is kind of, been delayed a year, and so we're kind of catching up the special assessment process. Would be, if you're comfortable with that tonight, then would be to order the plans. The plans have been worked on for the last year and a half, and so we'd actually be asking for approval of plans. So that's maybe a little bit out of order from normal, but would think it would be advantageous. The next step would be to advertise for construction bids and get them out in January for contractors to look at, which we feel would be advantageous to get the best bid possible, to be early as possible in the season. Then once bids are accepted, would be looking at and reviewing those. Again, hopefully those will be in lower than what the numbers you see tonight for possible award in February and March. And then construction we have planned over the summer of 2026, and then the final paving and some striping in the spring of 2027. So just with the magnitude of the project, feel that's the best. And so then as you guys, your policy, the final assessment would be held post-construction. So midsummer of 2027, when we'd have final numbers and final proposed assessments. Project scope, basically 4th Street from Highway 10 up to Warner Road, first 2 blocks, on the south end being just a mill and overlay. That is not part of the assessment. And then from 3rd Avenue north to Warner Road would be complete reconstruction of sewer, water, street, storm sewer, and so that is the portion of the road with the proposed assessments. Again, replacing sanitary sewer and water main, we estimate those are put in the 60s, so about 60 years old, with cast iron water main and some asbestos cement pipe with the water main. And then the storm sewer, there is some clay tile storm sewer on the south end kind of the project, and then there's concrete pipe that's reached its useful life, as well as the street pavements and replacing the sidewalks. The proposed replacements would be PVC pipes, new manholes, and services for the sanitary sewer, as well as replacing with the water main from that cast iron and asbestos pipe up to PVC pipe, upsizing some 6-inch to 8-inch with the water main, and then full replacement to state aid standards, as this is also a county highway with the storm sewer. And then on the judicial ditch on the north end, replacing those 2 storm sewer pipes with a 8-foot by 5-foot box culvert. Street improvements, as was said, mill and overlay on the first 2 blocks from Highway 10 to 3rd Avenue Northeast, and then the full reconstruction. Sidewalk is replacing the sidewalks in place where they exist today, but also on the west side, extending all the way up to the elementary school. I don't off the top of my head remember what street it ends at now, but it would go, so basically on the west side, there will be sidewalk all the way up to Warner Road. On the east side, it will be replacing, as is today, with that crossing then at the elementary school. So that's where it would end, going north on the east side. Then street lighting, there's the decorative lighting on 3rd Avenue, or from 3rd Avenue to 4th Avenue, just with some of the storm sewer work that's underneath that stuff will be salvaged, put back up, and then the rest of the corridor would get new poles and LED fixtures in the same location. The street width will stay the same, 44 feet wide, face to face with curb and gutter. Again, that 6-foot wide sidewalk on the west side. And as I kind of talked about, going up to the elementary school, the plan does include replacing the pedestrian flashers at the intersection with the Catholic school on the south end, and then a new flashing system with that crossing up at the elementary school. Sidewalks and ped ramps will be put back to compliance with American with Disability Act requirements, and then concrete driveway aprons from the curb to the sidewalk. This is a cooperative project with Todd County, with 4th Street being County State Aid Highway 43 as well. So the cost is split based on this agreement that's been in place with Todd County. Basically, they're covering a lot of the street grading, the aggregate base pavement, 90% of the curb and gutter and the driveways. The storm sewer in the agreement, it says per state aid. There's a formula that is filled out based on kind of the land use around it, and if there's other storm sewer that flows through the system. That has been submitted to state aid, and so county is taking care of 55% of the storm sewer, city is 45%. With the substantial project, total estimated cost is at $7,433,843. If we apply the cost, our cooperative agreement from the last page, city's cost is $4,688,143, or 63%, and the county cost $2,745,700. And then there's a table there just breaking down how we come up with that number with just the different items of the street, storm sewer, lighting, water main, and sanitary sewer. The city has applied for funding through the Public Facilities Authority. They've been somewhat late this year in finalizing their funding list, and so that's kind of why we're here the 2 days before Christmas. But we have gotten notice from them that it is fundable for low interest loan and possible grant through their program, and they'll be finalizing that list here in the next week. But I think we have good assurances that this project is on there for the water and the sewer side. And so items that are eligible out of that, the city's 688 million. The Clean Water Revolving Fund, that's items associated with the sanitary sewer system. About $1,570,000 are eligible for that. About $1,975,000 on the drinking side, which is the water main. And then that leaves a non-participating, so that would be items of the street and the lighting of just over $1,142,000 that you can't get funding through PFA. A lot of that is that 45% of that storm sewer, the street lighting, and some of those items. Looking at the city assessment policy, the street is assessed at 100% based on front footage. You'll see as we go through the numbers with Todd County taking a lot of the street construction items, that rate per front foot is relatively lower than like the Second Street project we did a couple years ago. Sidewalk at 100% based on a square foot basis. Same with the driveways. The driveway number also is reduced, as in that cooperative agreement, county is taking care of 90% of those driveway items. And then the water and sewer service, so not the mains, but just the service being assessed on 100% to each property. So adding all those costs up, splitting them up based on linear feet of street, square feet of sidewalk and driveway, and then sewer and water services, just with the different uses. There are a few different sizes of water and sewer services, just the difference between an apartment building and a single family residence. And so these are the rates based on the estimate today. So that street resident or street assessment, $18.19 per foot. Again, that's reduced quite a bit from with the county taking up a lot of those. The sidewalk, $11.56 per square foot. The driveway, $2.09 per square foot, and then estimates based on the size of the sewer service or the water service to the particular project. As of right now, if you add all that up, it would be assessing about $804,000 over the whole project. These are hard to see, and I'll just kind of go through. These are maps that if residents wanted to look at, just with their front footages and such, it's in the feasibility report in a little bigger area, but just starting from 3rd Avenue heading up to Warner Road. Again, we're here tonight. This is the first public hearing with looking at this not completing until 27. Assessment payments wouldn't be due until 2027. And there are options for prepayments and partial payments. Following that adoption, people have about a month to consider that. If not, assessments would then go on their tax statement over is it 15 years, Gerald?
I don't think we've determined that.
Yeah, so that would be over a length and an interest rate yet to be determined based on how the city finances that. And then each year, if you wanted to pay that off, that would be have to have occurred by the 15th of November. So, that's a lot. Again, we're kind of here. This is the first public hearing in the process. Next step, order the project and approve plans. We get this out to bid, we would have a bid opening, I think, January 26th, and then would have, I'll say, real numbers for you guys to look at in February, and have that a finalized kind of split with the county and a better idea of what actual assessments would be. And with that, I think
I'm gonna get the first question in here before everyone else, sir. I have a question on the sidewalks.
Yeah.
So there is existing sidewalk that is from the elementary school up to we'll call it Warner Road.
Yep,
Is that going to be, is that part of the project scope and replacement?
yes,
It is, okay.
Yes.
All right, I just wanted to clarify that.
on the west side.
On the west side from the elementary school up to the.
Correct,
Warner Road.
yes.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
He talked a little bit about it, but just so everybody's clear, basically from the high rise up to the elementary school on the west side of Fourth, there's no sidewalk.
Right.
There will be after this
Okay,
project.
so that's going to be the addition to the existing. Okay, good. Just wanted to clarify that. I guess at this time, we can open it up for public comment. Anyone has anything they would like to come forward and speak?
I guess one question, if I'm set.
I think you can go ahead if no one else has come up just
I
yet.
guess one question that brought up to me is that I had a person ask me like, and I guess it's kind of hard to just, for me to sit here and just figure it out, but somebody could. If you own like 100-foot piece of property and you had a sidewalk and all the things that could be assessed to that piece of property, can we just have a number, do the math and show us maybe on the whiteboard or something, what it would cost that property owner for, I think that would be helpful to some of these people, to give them that number,
Yeah,
assessment wise.
it's not up in the screen, we're talking kind of general. There is a preliminary assessment role in the feasibility study, which goes property by property. And so if someone is interested at this point, this is an estimated assessment at this point. But I think, and just, purely applying your policy, this would be what we think the number is today.
And where is that at?
So in November, you approved this feasibility study, and so that,
Right.
a little more detail, it's in the back of this, and I'd be happy to send that to anybody that would like a copy of it or an electronic.
We could share that estimate based on the property with that person that maybe have the question about it.
Yes, and it breaks down, like, if you have 50 feet of frontage, you have a 4-inch sewer service, you have, sidewalk in front of you. Some have driveways, some don't. And so that's kind of, I think, the detail you're looking for at this point.
So every parcel included in this project is on that spreadsheet preliminarily.
So they could figure the math out?
It's already added up. You can look right across, and
Okay.
it's just that
And
they're
that's
estimates at
available
this.
to anybody that wants to get?
Yeah, this is a public document that you guys approved.
Okay.
Basically, most people, I'm assuming, would have 2-inch water,
1 inch.
One residential.
Okay, so $1,500. So basically, $7,100 per residential for your water system. Yeah, one service and one sewer.
But then there's curb and gutter and sidewalk and,
Pardon?
there's curb and gutter, sidewalk and all the other things.
Well, just for, yeah, we're not talking about curb and gutter, but for that's just water and sewer. So like for me, I have my back lot, which this would be affected. I have 2 waters and sewers, but they haven't been used in 60 years. So basically right there for me would be $14,000 just for my water and sewer.
Isn't there sidewalk that runs along there?
So I walk on top of that, instead of 150 feet, that's only $3,000. So personally, that is gonna run basically 20%.
Would he have to run both water and sewer in if he doesn't want to? Could he just do one or none or whatever?
I think on that lot, you probably could do just one.
You could. I mean, that's just.
It depends on what the
Right,
future
right,
use
right.
is gonna be.
If you look at the map, I can't remember which one it is, but there's sewer, but maybe not water, but.
Sure.
they think they're both there. They're not listed, but that's fine. Until you dig it up, you don't know. What was done 67 years ago. But just for, your average homeowner, one setup, water and sewer is gonna be set up there. And whatever the sidewalk is, because all depending on it. Some areas, it's deep, instead of, narrow and deep the way most
100-foot lot, Chad, isn't it?
Well, sidewalk
That's
is,
a 100-foot lot you have there, don't you?
I have three
Right.
50-foot lots, so.
Yeah, 150, okay.
I like Dick and Donnie's old house, I think that's probably, since the way that sits, it's a
Yeah,
little
it's-
bit different.
Right,
and,
yep.
then even if you have 3 houses or 4 houses and all that block is all set up, is how your sidewalks gonna be bigger. Most often, your water and sewer, that's gonna run about.
Anyone else want to come forward and have any comments they'd like to make or questions they might have? Did everyone get a copy of the project scope back there? I think everybody did, right? Okay.
I know previous meetings you had plans laid out with a little bit of drawings. I mean, is that any of that changed or something? I'm here for 2, I own property down there and consider to do a church. I wanna change the scope of how that's done, the sidewalk on it, get rid of the trees and everything. Is that still a doable thing? 'Cause I haven't seen a plan since the last, maybe 2 years ago, when the plans were laid out here.
So
With
the church, we have planned that you'd get all sidewalk from the curb to the back. We're not taking that turf away. So I think that was maybe the one.
That was one of my questions, but I've not seen the plan since originally when I drew on it and requested that.
That is
be done.
included.
But how do I find those plans? I mean, in the scope that
I've
you're
got it.
pressing on there,
Yeah.
I mean, are there plans
Yes.
available to see there?
Yep.
I guess one other little question, I own storage units on there, that don't have any sewer and water, so I don't ever plan on having sewer and water. So, I mean, I'm not going to be assessed by sewer and water, am I?
No.
Because there is none there, and then also I'm hoping you are gonna extend ditching culverts in, which I did get your proposal, of what your estimated cost was, if I kept those, went in 125 feet, went in the whole feet, but it didn't say anything of what was done on that scope of work, which the dollar figure was kind of astronomical, the number that I got thrown out there, but, would I not try to find out what was in that scope of work?
You can contact me. My number.
I just got to get the story.
All right, good.
Mr. Oden, he had his hand up.
Excuse me?
Mr. Oden in the back had his hand
Okay,
up.
yeah.
I was just curious, does the city have a policy that they'll add a service to a lot that doesn't have a service at this time? I mean, sometimes an empty lot will get, a service will get added to it even though there isn't a service.
I would say if it's an empty, undeveloped lot, we would probably look to add a service. Like like a residential lot, that type of thing.
I'm asking in regards to the school's playgrounds, Sacred Heart School playground. lot
I don't,
area.
no, I don't think we would do that.
You have a look on your face like you know something
Yeah,
we
I
don't
was gonna
know.
say, Did you get your question answered?
Okay,
No, that answers it.
okay.
All right, good. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? All right, we'll close the public hearing at this time. Move on to item number 6, which is to consider resolution 2011 ordering the project and preparation of plans.
So in your packet, the backside of the presentation is a copy of the proposed resolution. As Brian said, the plans are prepared, but it's a step that we need to go through. So I would recommend approval of resolution 2011.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion John, second Mary. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. That brings us to item number 7, consider resolution 2012 approving plans and authorizing construction bidding.
So a copy of that resolution is also in your packet. And as Brian indicated, we would get this out for bids, shortly with bid opening scheduled for 4th week in January.
26th.
Recommend approval of that as well.
So moved.
Motion John, second Blake. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We'll move on to item number 9, schedule a public hearing on progress of the Small Cities Grant Fund Community Development Block Grant Funding for January 27th, 2026 at 7 p.m.
So this is a requirement of the small cities grant funding, so recommend approval or to go ahead and schedule that public hearing for the second meeting in January.
I'll make a motion to schedule the public hearing on January 27th.
Second.
Motion John, second Mary. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Move on to item number 10, consider resolution 2013 calling for redemption of general obligation improvement refunding, series 214 debt.
Copy of the resolution and also a memorandum from our city clerk finance director in here. So this is the Valley View bonds. We paid the remainder of those off.
Second.
Motion Roy, second John. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 11, consider resolution 2014 supporting new state-supported passenger rail service between St. Paul, Minnesota and Fargo, North Dakota.
So in your packet is a whole bunch of information about this, but a little bit of background on it. Back in 2021, the council approved a resolution supporting the St. Paul to Chicago passenger train. And we were contacted by an organization, All Aboard Minnesota, that's been pushing this for years. And we did support that basically with the idea that once that was up and running, they're gonna shift gears and try to go from St. Paul to Fargo, get another train running, which would be a daytime train. And the St. Paul to Chicago one has been very successful. And so now they are moving on, trying to get some legislation to get the federal transportation folks involved in doing the St. Paul to Fargo one. So they're requesting a letter of support from us. Doesn't cost anything.
We agree to something like this, would there be any future funding, consideration for funding for better parking at the Amtrak station and?
Not that I'm
Nothing
aware
that
of.
jumps out at you? Okay.
Yeah. They, you can kind of see where, Amtrak right now is Detroit Lakes, Staples, St. Cloud. This picks up, this daytime train would also pick up Little Falls and Wadena in the middle, in between that. Staples would be a 9 a.m. For the westbound train and 8:32 p.m. Return trip, so a little better than 2 in the morning.
Right.
So,
Probably would be potentially increased use with the improved schedule potentially, which would therefore increase the ridership, would therefore increase the ability for us to speak with Amtrak about improvements at our depot. I think it would maybe be a ripple effect.
Yeah, I think so too.
They have been doing some upgrades of parking and is that in anticipation of this? Or
No,
that's just
no,
something that was sorely needed?
Yeah, the project that's happening over there right now is an ADA project that Amtrak is doing. And that, you know, there's some that'll kind of come around the front, but the majority of that is the platform between the depot and the mainline track. So that project would benefit this, you know, daytime passenger train as well.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Mary, second John. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Brings us to item number 12. Consider resolution 2015 approving certain lender documents related to the Staples multifamily project.
So this is related to Staples Multifamily's Cardinal Pines. Basically, the owners that built that initially have a pending sale. They're selling it to, I believe, INH, which is the company that has been managing it all along. So owners are, you know, divesting of certain properties. INH, you know, would basically continue to operate it the same. The tax increment financing that we did for the Staples multifamily, in all those documents, there's a provision where if you're going to transfer ownership and request that the tax increment be transferred, you need to basically get city approval to do so. We've done it on other ones before. It doesn't change anything as far as the tax increment. They continue operating it and have the same requirements. So I would recommend approval of that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion John, second Mary Jo. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. That brings us to open forum. Anyone here this evening that would like to speak during open forum? I know most people left, but I just want to say thanks to a few people that are left that came for the public hearing. Appreciate your input and coming to listen to it. And usually don't get too many visitors during public hearings, so appreciate you guys coming. If not, we'll move on to the city administrator's report.
Short and sweet, make you aware that Christmas Eve day and New Year's Eve day, the office will be closed in public at noon. And then we'll be off on the actual holidays of that, but want to make sure that everybody has a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and we'll see you back here raring to go in January. So, that's all I have.
Move that we adjourn.
The motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting is adjourned.